All right, let's dive into something I know a lot of you are curious about making money online. You guys sent over excerpts from Groove It or Lose It, 3 no BS ways to make bank online. Look, I know you've probably seen a ton of hype around this whole make money online thing, so let's cut through that and see what this source actually has to say.
You know, what I find really interesting about Groove It or Lose It is how much it emphasizes hitting that first $1,000. Like, Chapter 2 really dives deep into the psychology behind that milestone. It's not even just about the money itself.
Okay, so walk me through this. Why is that first $1,000 so important psychologically?
Well, the source argues that for most people who are just starting out, $1,000 feels achievable. You know, it's not $1 million or anything crazy like that, right?
Right.
It's tangible. It's something you can actually imagine yourself earning, even if you don't have a ton of experience. And that sense of attainability, that's super key.
That makes total sense. It's kind of like, when you finally nail that recipe you've been wanting to try. Like that sense of accomplishment, a huge confidence boost.
Exactly. It totally shifts your mindset. It goes from like, can I even do this? To, okay, I did it. What's next? And the source makes a big point that this newfound confidence can be incredibly motivating. It kind of pushes you forward on your whole online earning journey.
And I bet actually seeing that money hit your account, like seeing that $1,000, it makes the whole concept of making money online feel so much more real.
Oh, absolutely. The source points out that it's no longer some theoretical idea, it's a tangible impact. It just solidifies the whole idea that, wow, I can actually make money online.
So it's not just about the money, it's about proving to yourself that you can actually do this, and then using that momentum to keep going.
Precisely. And the cool thing is, the source doesn't just stop at the why. It actually dives into the how. They lay out 3 specific methods, they call them grooves, and these are affiliate marketing, reselling, and PLR products, and then creating your own digital products and courses.
Okay, let's break those down. What are the key takeaways for each of those grooves?
All right, so starting with affiliate marketing. The source really highlights how low risk it is. Essentially, you're recommending products that you genuinely love. And then if someone buys through your unique link, you earn a commission. So you don't have to create a product, you don't have to handle inventory, you don't have to deal with customer service. It's pretty hands-off.
So if you're someone who loves sharing their favorite finds or recommending helpful resources, this could be a really good fit.
Yeah, definitely.
What about reselling and PLR products?
Okay, so this method focuses on using existing digital products. So you purchase the rights to an ebook, a template, a course, whatever it may be, and then you resell it. And often you can even rebrand it as your own.
That's interesting. You can tap into a market without having to create the product from scratch.
Yeah.
I can see that being really appealing to people who are short on time or who maybe haven't developed their own expertise yet.
Absolutely. And it can potentially be a faster way to generate income compared to building something from the ground up.
Okay, and then the last groove, creating your own digital products and courses. What's the big draw there?
All right, so this is where you take your knowledge, your skills, your experience, whatever you've got, and you package it into a digital product. So think ebooks, guides, online courses, that kind of thing. And the source really emphasizes the whole create once, sell forever potential. You put in the effort up front, and then you have an asset that can generate passive income over time.
So you're turning your expertise into a source of ongoing revenue. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Though I imagine it takes more upfront work
Yeah.
and maybe a little more confidence in what you know.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely requires a bit more initial investment. But the source argues that it can lead to greater long-term rewards, and you have way more control over your income. So really, it's about choosing the groove that aligns with your strengths, your resources, and your goals.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's say you've chosen your groove, you're fired up, you're ready to go. What's next? Like, how do you actually get started without getting completely lost in the sea of information out there?
That's where the source's Quick Start framework comes in. And it's designed to take you from feeling overwhelmed to taking concrete action toward that first $1,000.
All right, let's walk through this framework. What's step 1?
So step 1, as we've kind of touched on, is choosing your groove. Which of those 3 methods really calls to you? But it's not just about picking one at random and crossing your fingers. The source really stresses how important it is to choose something that aligns with your skills, your interests, and the resources you have available.
So really taking stock of what you bring to the table and then choosing a path that plays to your strength.
Exactly.
Once you've got your groove, then what?
The source calls the next step setting up your money-making foundation. And I know that might sound a bit vague, but it's really about taking those practical steps to get your chosen method up and running.
Okay, so give me an example. What would this look like for someone who's going the affiliate marketing route?
All right, so for affiliate marketing, setting up your foundation might involve researching and joining relevant affiliate programs. You might create a website or build up your social media presence where you'll be promoting products. And then you'd want to familiarize yourself with different tracking tools so you can monitor your progress.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about getting those logistical pieces in place before you actually start promoting anything. What about setting up the foundation for reselling or PLR products?
In that case, you'd focus on finding high-quality PLR products that align with the audience you're trying to reach. You'd need to set up an online storefront or maybe a sales platform, and then you'd work on crafting really compelling sales copy that highlights the value of the product that you're reselling.
So even though you didn't create the product yourself, it's still about creating that system for showcasing and delivering it. What about for those who are going the route of creating their own digital products?
Right, so for that, building that foundation might involve outlining your course content, choosing a platform to actually host and deliver your course, and then figuring out a pricing strategy that reflects the value you're providing.
So it sounds like regardless of which groove you choose, this whole setting up your money-making foundation step is about taking this abstract idea and turning it into a tangible plan with actual steps.
You got it. It's about laying the groundwork for success and avoiding that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm lost or I'm so overwhelmed.
And I bet having that clear foundation makes taking action so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what the next step in the framework emphasizes, taking daily action. The source is really adamant about consistency being key, and it's not about working yourself to death. It's about making steady progress each day.
So even if you're just dedicating an hour or two consistently, that can make a difference.
That's the beauty of it. The source suggests breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, and just focusing on completing those tasks consistently. Even if it's baby steps, those small steps, if you're doing them consistently, can lead to some pretty significant results over time.
Phew, that's a relief to hear. I think so many people get discouraged because they think they have to be hustling 24/7 to see success online. But this framework sounds like it's much more about sustainable action.
It is. It's about building a rhythm, establishing a routine, and making it part of your life in a way that feels, doable and sustainable. They even suggest setting aside specific time blocks in your schedule, just like you would for any other important appointment, and dedicating that time to your online endeavors.
I like that. It's about treating it seriously, like a real business, even if you're starting small.
Mhm.
But what about those moments when, your motivation dips or you hit a roadblock? Like, how do you deal with that?
That's where the final step of the framework comes in. Reflect and adjust. The source recommends taking some time each week to review your progress, figure out what's working well, and then adjust your approach as needed.
So it's not about just blindly pushing forward. It's about being strategic, looking at your results, and course correcting along the way.
You got it. It's about being adaptable and willing to experiment to figure out what works best for you. And they really stress that this whole process of reflecting and adjusting it should be something you're doing consistently throughout your journey.
That makes sense. Things change so quickly in the online world, you need to be able to adapt.
Oh, absolutely. And throughout this whole framework, they talk about how important it is to celebrate those wins, especially hitting that first $1,000 milestone.
Yes, we talked about the psychological impact of that, but actually taking the time to celebrate it feels equally important.
It totally does. It reinforces that positive feedback loop, boosts your confidence, motivates you to keep going. They even suggest planning a small reward for yourself when you hit that milestone, something to mark the occasion and acknowledge your achievement.
I love that. It's not just about the destination. It's about enjoying the journey and recognizing your progress along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the framework down. But let's be real, starting anything new, especially something like making money online,
Yeah.
can come with a lot of mental baggage. What about those but what if thoughts? The ones that try to creep in and hold you back?
Yeah, those are real. And the source tackles those head on in the next chapter. They go through some of the most common roadblocks that people who are trying to build an online business face. And I think you'll find their approach pretty refreshing.
Well, I'm intrigued. It sounds like Groove It or Lose It offers a really solid foundation, not just for understanding how to make money online, but also
Yeah.
for dealing with the mental and emotional aspects, which I think honestly are often overlooked.
I agree. That's one of the things that makes this source so valuable. It goes beyond just surface level tactics. It gets into the mindset shifts and practical strategies that can really make a difference.
Well, I'm feeling inspired and ready to tackle those but what if thoughts.
Awesome. Let's dive into those challenges and explore the solutions they offer. So let's get into some of those roadblocks, the ones that the source actually addresses. And one that I think a lot of people can relate to is that whole "I just don't have enough time" thing.
Oh, yeah, that's the classic excuse, isn't it? Life gets busy, things get hectic. So how does the source suggest tackling that feeling? Like feeling too overwhelmed to even get started?
Well, what's interesting is they don't suggest some crazy, overhaul of your entire life. Instead, Chapter 5 focuses on reclaiming these little pockets of time that we all have throughout our day. Like they give examples like turning your commute into a brainstorming session or using your lunch break to connect with your target audience online.
So it's about finding those hidden opportunities, those little gaps that we probably waste without even realizing it.
Exactly. And they also talk about batching similar tasks together to be more efficient. So instead of checking your email every 5 minutes, you dedicate a specific block of time to clear out your inbox. And then you can focus on other things without getting distracted.
That's a good one. I am so guilty of constantly switching between tasks. It just kills my productivity.
The source also talks about identifying and eliminating time wasters. What are some things that you do each day that you could maybe cut back on just to free up more time for your online business stuff?
I think I spend way too much time scrolling through social media. Like, sometimes I just get sucked into these endless feeds and an hour just disappears.
It happens to the best of us. And the source makes a good point that being mindful of those little time traps and choosing to limit them can actually free up a significant amount of time. Even just 30 minutes less scrolling could be an extra 30 minutes that you're putting towards building your business.
True. It's not about making these huge sacrifices. It's more about making small strategic shifts in how we use our time.
Totally. Now, another common roadblock that the source addresses is that feeling of not having the right skills. A lot of people assume they need to be like a tech genius or a marketing guru to make money online.
I've definitely felt that way before, especially with how fast things change in the online world.
Right. So the source addresses this by reminding us that you don't have to be an expert in everything right away. You can start with what you already know and then leverage all those free tools and resources that are available online to fill in the gaps.
So instead of getting overwhelmed trying to learn everything at once, focus on mastering one skill at a time and then gradually expanding your knowledge as you go.
Yeah, exactly. And they emphasize the importance of embracing that idea of continuous learning. The online world is always changing, so staying curious and being willing to adapt is so important.
And does the source actually give any specific resources for learning those skills?
They do. They recommend looking into free online courses, tutorials, blog posts, even joining online communities where you can connect with other entrepreneurs and learn from their experiences.
That's really cool. It's nice to know there's so much support out there, especially for those who are just starting out. Okay, so we've talked about time and skills, but there's another big one that I think holds a lot of people back, the fear of failure. Like, what if you put all this effort in and it doesn't work out?
That's a really valid fear. And the source doesn't try to brush it under the rug or anything. They acknowledge that, yeah, failure is part of the process, but they encourage us to reframe our perspective on it.
So instead of seeing it as a sign to give up, you see it as a learning opportunity.
Exactly. They talk about viewing those setbacks as valuable data points. Each failure can teach you something about what works, what doesn't, and how you might adjust your approach next time.
I like that. It takes some of the sting out of failing, and it turns those setbacks into stepping stones.
Totally. And they also remind readers to start small and track their progress. Instead of jumping into a huge, complex project, focus on setting small, achievable goals. Those can help build your momentum and confidence, and by tracking your progress, you can actually see how far you've come and identify any areas for improvement.
It's all about breaking those big, intimidating goals into smaller, more manageable steps, and then celebrating those little wins along the way.
Yep. Now, remember those free tools we were talking about earlier? Well, Chapter 8 is where things get really exciting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about these tools.
The source gives you access to a whole suite of online business tools that are completely free for a year. We're talking website and funnel builders, e-commerce platforms, email marketing tools, even membership site features. All of these are designed to help you get your online business up and running.
Wow, that's incredibly generous.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that really stand out to you?
Well, first off, the website builder is drag and drop. So you don't need to know anything about coding to create a professional-looking website. Plus, you've got tons of pre-designed templates to choose from so you can get started quickly.
That's huge for people who might be intimidated by the technical side of things. What about if you want to actually sell products online?
Oh, they've got you covered there too. The e-commerce platform lets you create an online store, manage inventory, process payments, even set up automated shipping. You can sell both digital and physical products through it.
That's a game changer for anyone who wants to start selling stuff online, but they don't want to go through the hassle of setting up their own website and payment system.
Exactly. And if you're interested in building an email list, they've got an email marketing tool that lets you create and send targeted emails to your subscribers. You can automate welcome sequences, send promotional blasts, even segment your audience to make your messages more personal.
Building an email list is so important for any online business. It's like having a direct line to your audience. You can build those relationships, and that leads to more sales.
It really does. And then the membership site features, those are fantastic if you want to create recurring revenue. You can host your courses, your content, your community all in one place. And you can offer different membership tiers so people can choose the level of access they want.
Perfect for those who want to offer something more exclusive and generate some consistent income. It sounds like these tools cover all the bases, everything you need to build a successful business online.
I think so. And the fact that they're free for a whole year, that's a huge opportunity for anyone who wants to dip their toes in the water without any financial risk.
It's like they're saying, here are the keys to the kingdom. Now go make it happen.
Pretty much.
Mhm.
And to help you actually use the tools and implement all the strategies we've been talking about, they also provide step-by-step guidance. So you're not just left to figure it out on your own.
So they show you exactly how to use these tools to get results. That's great.
Yeah. They walk you through everything from setting up your website and your online store to creating those high-converting sales funnels and building your email list.
That kind of support is so valuable, especially if you're a beginner and you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all the technical stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And they really emphasize that these tools are designed to be user-friendly. So even if you're not a tech person, you can still create a really professional online presence and manage your business effectively.
So it's not just about having the tools, it's about having the guidance and support to actually use them the right way.
Right. Now, even though these tools give you a great foundation for your online business, the source also stresses the importance of, always learning and expanding your knowledge. They offer a ton of resources to help you keep developing your skills and stay on top of what's working.
What kind of resources are we talking about here?
They have a whole library of training videos, tutorials, blog posts covering everything from marketing and sales to actually creating products and handling customer service. They even host webinars and workshops with industry experts.
It's like having a whole team of mentors and coaches at your fingertips.
I know, right? And they even have a really supportive online community, so you can connect with other entrepreneurs, ask questions, share your wins and struggles, that kind of thing.
That's awesome. Having that kind of community can make such a difference,
Yeah,
especially when you're first starting out and maybe feeling a little lost or alone.
totally. So we've covered a lot here. We've talked about mindset shifts, practical strategies, these awesome tools, ongoing support. But I'm curious, does the source go beyond just building a business? Do they talk about the deeper why behind all of this?
That's a really good question. It's one thing to learn how to make money online, but it's another thing entirely to connect with those deeper motivations. Like, why are we doing this in the first place?
Exactly. And that's actually what the last chapter of Groove It or Lose It is all about. It's about tapping into your why and understanding the transformative power that comes with online entrepreneurship.
Ooh, now I'm really intrigued. Let's get into that last chapter and explore this deeper meaning behind building a business online. All right, so we've talked about the different grooves, tackled those common roadblocks, and even found some really cool tools to help us along the way. Now let's get into that final chapter you mentioned, the one that digs into the deeper why behind building an online business.
Yeah. So chapter 9 kind of takes this interesting turn. It shifts from the practical nuts and bolts of building a business to these more, profound ideas about freedom and fulfillment. They encourage you to actually picture what your life would be like if you hit your online income goals.
So really connecting with that vision of the future you're working towards, painting a picture of what financial freedom could actually enable for you.
Exactly. They even suggest taking some time to actually visualize those dreams. What would it look like? Is it the freedom to travel, more time with your family? Maybe it's finally pursuing that passion project you've been putting off because of financial constraints.
I can see how that would be a huge motivator. It's not even really about the money itself at that point. It's more about what that money represents, like
Yeah.
all the possibilities it opens up.
Totally. And the source also emphasizes that everyone's why is unique. Like it's really about figuring out what truly matters to you and then using that as fuel, especially when things get tough.
It's like having that North Star, right, guiding you and reminding you of the bigger picture,
Mhm.
even when you're lost in the weeds of all those day-to-day tasks.
Exactly. And they even suggest writing down your why and revisiting it often. Having that visual reminder, it can be super powerful. It keeps you focused and motivated.
That's a good tip. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget why you even started in the first place.
For sure. The source also talks about how transformative online entrepreneurship can be, like how it can lead to personal growth and development that goes way beyond just financial gain.
Oh, interesting. In what ways? Like, how does building an online business help you grow as a person?
Well, they argue that the process of overcoming challenges, learning new skills, putting yourself out there, it builds resilience, confidence, and a sense of self-efficacy.
So it's not just about those external rewards, it's about the internal changes that happen along the way.
Yeah, it's about becoming more resourceful, more adaptable, more empowered just by going through the process of building a business.
That's actually pretty inspiring. It makes the whole endeavor feel much more meaningful and fulfilling.
Right. And then they even touch on the idea of giving back, using your success to make a positive impact on the world.
So it's not just about you and your own personal gain. It's about contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Yes. They encourage you to think about how you can use your business to support causes that are important to you. Maybe it's donating a portion of your profits. Maybe it's offering your skills to help someone out. Maybe it's using your platform to raise awareness for a cause you care about.
That's a really powerful message. It adds a whole other layer of purpose to the whole journey. It's not just about reaching financial freedom. It's about using that freedom to make a real difference.
Totally. And they remind you that even small actions can have a ripple effect. Like you can actually create positive change in the world.
I love that. It's a good reminder that we all have the power to contribute, no matter how much money we make or how big our business is.
And that kind of brings us to the final message of groove it or lose it. It's a call to action to step into your power, embrace the journey, and create the life you really want.
It sounds like a really powerful ending. Like it ties together everything we've been talking about. The mindset, the strategies, the tools, and then ultimately that deeper purpose.
It really does. It reminds you that you have the power to create your own destiny and build a life filled with freedom, fulfillment, and impact.
Well, there you have it, folks. That wraps up our deep dive into Groove It or Lose It. We explored the different ways you can actually make money online. We found some pretty awesome tools and resources, and we even touched on that deeper why, that motivation and potential for growth that this whole journey can offer.
It's been a really fun exploration, and I hope you're feeling inspired to start your own online business journey.
We created this deep dive just for you, and we hope you take what you learned here and start taking action. You got this.
Remember, every journey starts with a single step. So what will your first step be?
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep grooving towards those dreams.